This episode was brought to you in part by Ben Herritage, financial, investment, retirement, money management, and planning. And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com, building on what matters to you.
Hey guys, I've got Ben Herritage with me again today, Capital Financial Partners. And I think he's going to help us pay off some debt.
Well, I'm not going to help you pay off your debt, but I can help people with strategies on paying off their debt.
I tried.
A common thing people want to talk about is debt management and getting a handle on their debt and understanding how to get out from under this debt. We are in a consumer-driven society where people like to spend, and it is very easy to borrow money. And it would shock you the average credit card debt people in America have. It's pretty high. I think it's around $9,000 or so. But all debt is not equal. This is everybody, every so-called financial guru and expert out there has an opinion on paying off debt. Some will tell you pay off the highest one first. Some will tell you no, start with the smallest debt. It's really, what is the debt costing you? It wasn't that long ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago, when people were getting mortgages at 2 and 3%.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you were fortunate enough to have a mortgage at that rate.
The unicorn years.
Oh, those were the unicorn years. Absolutely.
Yes, they'll never happen again.
We will probably never see that in our lifetime.
No, absolutely not.
But why would you pay that debt down first if you've got a credit card that's charging you 20% interest? I hope you don't have a credit card that's charging you 20% interest. But right. The point is, if you understand how debt works, you are paying a financing charge. There is a rate associated with debt. That number can vary greatly across different types of debt. And it doesn't all have to be across the board. It's this flat rate, auto rates, home rates, credit card rates, student loan rates, all kinds of different things charge different things. Is it secured or unsecured? There are a lot of people who advertise unsecured debt. Well, an unsecured debt is essentially a credit card. It's not backed by anything. You've got a beautiful home like this. If you have a mortgage on it, if you stop paying on your mortgage, they can take your home. On unsecured debt, that could be these personal loans that you see advertised. They charge you a slightly higher rate, but there's nothing backing the debt. So when we examine debt, and when someone says, well, I don't want to pay off debt, I'm like, great, that's a good place to be. Debt-free is great. However, let's determine, what does it cost you? Which rate? And how long do you have that rate for? Are you financing, did you go out and buy a boat and finance it for 20 years? Gosh, I hope not. But you can do that nowadays.
Right.
It would be a bad purchase.
Yes.
How long you finance something, what it costs you to finance something. Common, when I'm going through budgeting with people, I see an auto loan. I'm like, what's your rate? And people won't know that rate. Like, okay, well, let's figure out what that rate is. And they will have gone with the first rate a dealership gave them, and it could be 2 or 3 points higher. That 2 or 3 points over a 4, 5, 6 year auto loan can be significant.
Right.
So paying off debt is first step is understanding what the debt is. Is it a goal to be debt-free? That's a great goal to have, but is it a reasonable goal to be debt-free? And why would you want to pay this debt off that debt? So understanding where your debt is the first thing. I often talk about defining things and then setting a goal and then building a plan to pay off certain debt and prioritizing what that debt is. That's an easy thing to talk about, but unfortunately, we as an American society, we all have a lot of debt.
Sure.
I wish we didn't, but the reality is people will borrow money quickly. Right. And a lot of financial institutions, that's why they make a lot of money. We're all paying that. That's what finance rates are.
Right. And so that makes sense. Like if you've got a higher interest rate card or loan That would be your first work there first, with the ones that you're paying more.
I would absolutely target the higher interest rates.
Yeah, that makes sense. And not necessarily the amount of money that you owe to, but whatever you're paying more for.
Well, and it also comes down to your investment portfolio. Like if you're investing money, what are you earning on your investments? So if you're earning, let's be a conservative rate of return. Let's say you're earning 6% on an investment. Well, if you have a debt that you're paying 4% on, what would you rather be paying 4% or earning 6%? You'd rather be earning 6%. You know,
Right.
there's a spread there where you make more money. If you could be earning 6%, but you take those same dollars that could be earning 6%, but you put that towards a debt that only costs you 4%, that's might not be the best thing for you. So it's the big picture. It's
Right.
What are your financial goals? And a lot of times I hear from people saying, I want to be debt free, or I want to pay down my debt, and I just don't know how to get there. And it's a lot of times it's because people don't understand interest rates and don't understand, how did I get in this picture? And that's why we get into budgeting. How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this debt that is weighing me down?
Yeah.
And figuring out what to tackle first.
Yeah.
If you are one of those unicorns and have a mortgage at 2.7,
Right.
that's not something we're probably going to want to pay off first. That's
Right.
probably last on the list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, that's in real estate, that's what we call the unicorn years. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's a good place for people to start looking, as you know, what their interest, and maybe one time we can talk about interest rates maybe on the next one.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
This episode was brought to you in part by Ben Herritage, financial, investment, retirement, money management, and planning. And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com, building on what matters to you.